Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Good morning, and we're going to be going through the live order flow analysis here in the markets. Typically we just start with the S&P E-mini, and that's enough for everybody, and we just go forward. But we'll look at any other markets that you guys prefer, as long as we can connect to it. Anyway, our goal here is to understand the live auction and at the moment, and where price might go next, and order flow allows us to do that. We can understand the participants in that auction, and because of that, then we can give some insight where it might go, and we can even look for some trade management around some of those areas. All right, so just a few news items. We have our weekly onboarding webinar Wednesdays at 11:30 East Coast time. And we just go through the process of getting you up and running with Bookmap, subscribing to Bookmap, subscribing to data, downloading the platform, connecting it to data, and adding a symbol. Pretty straightforward stuff, but just to really help you through the process. I'll put a link into, it's a Zoom, I'll put a link into the chat there for you, and you can come and attend if you have any issues. Yeah, please ask questions as well. All right, so also our supply and demand course here on the Learning Center. Let me show you where that is. If you go to bookmap.com and go to education, just click on education right here. That'll take you to the Bookmap Learning Center. This is your hub for anything that has to deal with education. Getting started and up and running with the platform and connecting to data, as well as all the features in Bookmap you'll find in here. How to trade from Bookmap, how to draw, what all the columns are. They're very, very short videos in here. How to read the heat map, or the different settings in the heat map, etc. So very short videos to get you up and running. And then Market Mechanics course, also very helpful for those that are new to this kind of market visualization. And this is our new course here, the supply and demand setups. We'll be going through these in the live market during this webinar. So there's 10 videos in here, very short again, that have to deal with some of the advantages of understanding the supply and the demand, and looking for an edge out of that. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? Our Bookmap Desk still going. If you are interested in that, you can still partake in it. Just go to it's Bookmap-Desk, bookmap.com, English or EN, and then slash Bookmap-Desk. This is fantastic competition we have going on, or contest. Great prizes too, $1,000 plus Bookmap for a year. Second place is $500 Bookmap for a year, and third place is 3 months of Bookmap. They all include data for one exchange as well. Look at all these different setups in here. Some pretty impressive stuff. So and this guy's got an impressive dog as well. Anyway, all sorts of different people's setups in here. Their desk. It's really easy to partake. All you have to do is on X, Instagram, or your LinkedIn account, take a photo, upload it, and then put hashtag Bookmap Desk, and that's it. And it will upload immediately, well, within some minutes up here on our page. Okay, so take advantage of that, and you might win. All right, so our Bookmap Academy and journaling and building out our playbook. I won't go over this, but this in here is what we're going to be looking for every day. We're looking for what's moving the market. Number one, the impetus. Number two, our key levels on higher time frames. We want to understand those. And then we start to develop scenarios and strategies around those factors, like maybe it's previous high a day, maybe it's your VWAP trader, whatever. But then we drill down to our setup, and we have a checklist for our setup. This ensures that you're looking for the proper setup for the day. And then the setups checklist it comes down to just execution at this point, and you look for order flow event. All right, let's go through the disclosures and then we'll jump in. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in here. And I got a request to look at from Bossman to look at the NQ. Sure, we'll look at the NQ. Just right now looking at the ES, and I took a trade right here just before the webinar and got stopped out. But this is what I saw was nice move up, high liquidity getting filled all the way up, and then I started to see some selling coming in. We had a trend line in here. I saw the break of it, and then I got a very small pullback here, and was looking for the continuation down to this level here. It reversed, came right back up, and look at this thing go. I mean, with all the news out there, this is kind of surprising, but this is what is happening. All right, so let's actually take a step back here and look at our higher time frames first, right? Because we want to understand that if some of these setups are looking a little odd in here, well, then we have to understand the higher time frames. I mean, we know that the marketplace is, or the fundamentals here, there's a lot of geopolitical stuff going on. All right, so let's look at our daily over here on the left hand side, okay, for the ES, our hourly here in the center, and our 15-minute on the right. Let me see if there's any questions over here in Discord. Okay, good morning everybody. Good morning Stephen, Alois, Snowman. All right, so and how are we doing on YouTube? Okay, we're good over there. All right, so let's take a look at this here. Boy, I mean, these markets just never cease to amaze me. Nothing pulls this thing down. I mean, you could see all of this, you know, some weeks ago or months ago here with the tariffs and all of that, and the drops here, but amidst all this geopolitical, market seems unfazed by it, unfazed. So that's pretty wild. Anyway, bullish move here off of the bottom, back up into near highs here. Okay, so up at 60.50 right now on the daily. On the hourly, up in here, you can see us kind of coming up into the wicks up here, and we're starting to see some profit taking, it looks like here, right? 15-minute chart also back up into these areas here. Just not seeing much right now. I mean, looking for continued momentum until we see something else from our higher time frames. All right, so anyway, that's it. But let's take a look at Bookmap and see what's going on. Okay, so now we're starting to see this roll over a bit better here, much better, in fact. All right, so let's see if we get a little bit of a bounce off of this little area right here. Okay, the swings down here, also this liquidity down here, and look at the high liquidity getting filled in here on the bid, but more sellers able to drive it lower and through that area. Okay, so this is starting to kind of look like a potential reversal pattern here, and let's just look at the condition of that selling though. Okay, so here we have some exhaustion and not much buying up here, and we do have a cluster of selling here. This is looking great for a reversal at this point. Okay, we see the move back down to test. Here, let me get rid of some of these here already. okay, down to test this range here, and we see more selling on a pullback here. Look at the buying up in here. Okay, some exhaustion again. Another cluster selling down. This is where we get the momentum here. Okay, this is you know, kind of a, I don't know, a double top, mini head and shoulders, whatever. You can see this kind of turnaround though. Now the question is, you can see that buyers snapped it back up off the bottom edge here, and now we're back up to here where this dropped from. Okay, where it broke this range here. So the question now, and what we're going to be looking for and waiting and watching here, is the context between the liquidity and the buyers, the aggressors, the buyers and sellers. So the aggressive market buy orders are the green dots, and the red dots are market sell orders hitting the bid. All right, good morning. Good morning, Kevin from Florida. Okay, so we have high liquidity up in here around that 55-ish, well, 53 to 55 area. Okay, and that's the high of the day. Right, and now see how we didn't find buyers here before? Do we find buyers now? If we don't, and we start to see some sellers come in, I'm looking for this to drop back down and test some of these lows. Okay, there's a retest there. There's some selling. All right, well, let's see if we can get this then. I'm going to take a shot at it here. I'm looking for the sellers to hit back down into some of the lows here. Okay, and immediately goes against us. Okay, but we've got high liquidity up here. Okay, tested up into 53, and we see more selling again. Okay, so it's looking good. Let's see if the seller should be able to drop it down now and test this area down here. Now, this is what we talked about. There's something I want to mention in here. We've talked about it a lot in the past. Hitting singles, right? Scalping is basically some scalping, but looking for something that is just higher probability to work out. And this would be it right here. Is to take your profit maybe right here at this swing in here. Okay, now I'm going to hold it for a little bit more and see if we can get back down into some of these lower levels here. But just get out, right? And you got a small winner. You had the right reading in here, the right understanding. We don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, but this is more probable. Okay, so that would be you know, like a couple points of a move, and great. You just bagged you know, 2 S&P points. Look for the next. Bag another 2. When you see something that's kind of in your favor. See, like right now, what if a bunch of buyers come in? I see a cluster already, right? Already. So, you know, now that's the risk I'm taking here. Okay, and they'll see, here we go. So now we're up at break even here. Okay, do we get more buyers? Are they going to trade up into 53, 53 and 3/4, 55? Okay, or are we going to exhaust out, get more sellers in here, and start to hit the bid into these lower areas and maybe trade down to 45 liquidity down here? Okay, this is where we don't know. Okay, that's why hitting a single makes a lot of sense. Reduce some of the risk, bag some points, and then take that risk off the table. Okay, so right now this is turning into something else for me in this position in here. This is what I was looking for, and I was looking for it actually to see very low volume on a pullback here and then continuation. Okay, now we're getting a move back up to the highs here, or at least this swing high here. Okay, now let's see if the sellers now can take it back down. Okay, looking for the selling cluster in here. It just disappeared because more buyers came in, and these are delta dots, so it's buy minus sell. Okay, so now it's going against me. Okay, trading up into high liquidity up in here. Okay, so, and there we go, and now we're stopped out. Okay, so this is actually I think a pretty good example to look for hitting that single, just getting out. Okay, now we watch this unfold against us, and I'm totally fine with that. You know, this is all in demo paper trading mode. You know, I'm actually it does say live trading down here, but I'm actually in a rhythmic paper trading account right here, and I wanted to demo the this multi-account product that we have. Okay, so anyway, and I'll demo that in just a minute here. Let's see what else is unfolding though. Okay, we're back up at highs, and we're up here on high volume. Okay, and we just traded into high liquidity too, and there's higher liquidity even here at 58 and 60. So we're going to wait and watch for the next move up into that liquidity if we get there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I mean, learning from mistakes and especially in real time in here can be invaluable. At least it can be for me, and confirms that whole idea. Just hit the single, and then, you know, if I had multiple contracts on, I would have taken one off, try to let the other run. I probably would have put it up here, to be honest, and overall break even probably would have been up here, and I would have made nothing on any of those trades. Okay, that's probably what I would have done. But anyway, now we got to kind of wait and watch for something to happen again here. And where is this thing going here? I guess the highs up here are what, 70? Okay, so some of the swings up here, 70 and a half, up to 73. And momentum continues here. Okay, so it just traded up into that liquidity up here at 58 that we're just looking at earlier, right here. Okay, typically after trading into high liquidity, we're looking for a bit of a pullback. All right, so looks like we're kind of still waiting and watching here. Why don't we jump over to the Nasdaq as Bossman was requesting here. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to Nasdaq here, and we'll also look at the TraderMap Pro version of the Nasdaq here. Okay. Okay, it too doing quite well, or breaking out on some size here, volume. Okay, and yep, so now looking for a move back, just a slight move back down to about here, 94, 95, I should say. It could get down to 85. Okay, so there's a move back up, and let's see if we can go back down and hit 85 here. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for hitting 85 here. All right, we can take maybe a quick scalp on that too. Let's see if we can just get a move down here to 85. And I'm going to hide this. I know it's a pretty horrible risk reward, but behind the liquidity up here, I'm looking for the follow through to the downside here. Just right in front of it there. And that was it. Okay, we even front ran that by a little bit, by one tick, and still didn't hit us. Okay, so we're going to get stopped out on this, looks like. Let's see the buying coming back in here. So this looks good. This looks good. That's why we're looking for the follow through. And then just down to here and didn't hit that liquidity. And then buyers coming back in here. Now they're kind of struggling. Buyers are kind of struggling up here at this this swing here at 98. Yeah, that's a lot of buying there. I'm just going to get out of that and get out of the way here. Looks like we got some momentum coming in. Well, anyway, that's the reading. This week we have quite a bit of surprisingly quite a bit of data coming out as well. So we just recently had the flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI 9:45 this morning, and a little bit better than expected, and the other one kind of in line, and or the services PMI kind of in line. Let's see. So 10 o'clock today and tomorrow, or is it tomorrow as well? No, it's tomorrow and Wednesday too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've got Powell testifying to Congress, and on Thursday we have a final GDP, so the quarter over quarter, and then on Friday we have the core PCE. Okay, so quite a bit actually for being end of the month. That's kind of atypical. Plus the geopolitical stuff going on. All right, guys, I'm having kind of a rough reading right now. I'm not getting it. I mean, if right here, right now, I would say sellers are going to come in and hit the bid hard. Okay, and they do. But it just kind of looked like it was exhausting out here. Okay, and then this buying here followed by this selling underneath it. And some exhaustion again in here by the buy side, right? So now it looks like sellers can hit that 85. There they go. They hit it. And I don't know after that. You know, I would say maybe we can get down lower into some of these other areas of liquidity. Maybe this 77. That's kind of in the heat map here. But yeah, don't have a real good read on this right now. Okay. One thing we do know is lots of liquidity getting filled on the way up. Okay, so we know there's a lot of passive accumulation here on the sell side. Okay, so now we're looking for those aggressors on the sell side, and they are starting to come in now. Okay, so starting to see that. Okay, all right, so if that's the case, now we can start to look for pullbacks if we can get some. Okay, there's a, well, that's something else. That's not a pullback here. Boy, this is kind of tricky stuff. That is not a pullback, the pullback that we're looking for. That is some buying coming in. It slipped the, or swept the order book here. And looks like buyers, this is low enough for buyers to come in with some size, try to get it back up into some of the highs here, right? So now what we're seeing was looking like the sellers were going to take control here, but the buyers just came back in right here with force. Okay, so they're back in. Now we're looking for back up to the figure here at 22,000, maybe up to 22,005. Okay, so that's the environment we're kind of in here, and we'll continue to look for our setups, but not really, seeing too much at the moment, and not getting that kind of clarity from it. Boss man, you want us to kind of walk through the narrative of the Nasdaq? Well, how about if we, I'll go with maybe not the Nasdaq here, but I'll go with the S&P. They're pretty similar. So we just have the higher time frame of that S&P that we can take a look at. Okay, but we see this drive to the downside, and then you can see it in here in the order flow, at least, well, the transactions, not so much the order flow. It's really the aggressors here. See the open here, 930. See the buying starting to, the sellers try and buyers come in here, and now they're starting to, they whip it kind of away from that. And this is like, anyone that's short in here is getting squeezed in here. Okay, on the way up. Interesting move. Even this buying in here, look at the sellers come right back in. Okay, so sellers are coming back in to take control again. All right, let's jump over the ES and take a look. Very similar. Boy, I'm not seeing a whole lot on the bid down here either, getting filled. In fact, they're on the offer in here, and buyers still whip through that area in here. Just buying pressure. Again, look at the high liquidity in here, getting filled all the way on the way up here. So I'm looking for it to break here at some point. All of this passive accumulation in here, we're looking for the aggressive accumulation, and then for them to start moving that market. Okay, that's one thing. We're going to be looking at then the key levels in here, and we don't really have any key levels. We're in the middle of nowhere in here on this S&P. This is what makes it tricky, at least from what I'm seeing. And you can see that some of the setups we're looking for have not played out. So wait and watch. Hit the singles, but the follow through in the higher time frame, it's not playing out. Does that make sense, guys, over in Discord, about the hitting the single, but if we really have something aligned on that higher time frame, that's where we can look for the follow through. So that's the grading of the trade and the setup, I think. So because it's not as strong because of the lack of the higher time frame, then our expectations for a move are lower. It still could be like a high probability trade, but not for the follow through into something bigger. Okay, look at this up here. We see some buying, exhaustion, and back up at this little range in here. Okay, but again, I don't like it. I see a nice cluster of buying coming back in. Okay, so buyers trying to take control again, move price back up into maybe some of these highs here. All right, well, so then that's okay. We can look at smaller structural stuff in here and hone our skills in the order flow. All right. So in this little range in here, well, it looks like buyers will probably try to squeeze higher and hit this 55 level up here. Let's see. I'm basing it off of high liquidity down here, as well, but then buyers back up above it and this buying cluster. So here's the swing lower into this range here. Now let's see if the buyers can come right back and bring it back up above this 52. Okay, so now we're up here. Now we got to look for those aggressors in here. If we don't, sellers have the potential here to bring it back down into the swing here. Okay, 48 and below. Okay, first off, we got the high liquidity at 50 here. Okay, looks like sellers are going to trade that 50 level here. Yeah, just not getting a feel for it here. And any other questions? No. We can put our stops and icebergs on the chart here for TraderMap Pro. This is great. It looks like the new add-on here, stops and icebergs on chart. This is fantastic. So you can see now I can get it here on chart for TraderMap Pro. You don't have to have it on the S&P regular chart first. Okay, so you can have it on the synthetic instrument here. And so that's new. Well, I mean, okay, so it looks like a reversal is unfolding here now. I was kind of thinking about that, like shoulder, head, shoulder, but it just wasn't quite too clear yet to me up here. Okay, so we can look for maybe a pullback and see if this will follow through. I mean, this buying pressure keeps coming back in. So where might they go? Let's look for a pullback. And it would be somewhere around in here, back to 50. The liquidity is pretty good, Uriah. I don't see it really drying up, and I'm not really seeing much volatility at all. Let's take a quick look at the VIX actually, I'm just a quick look on it, investors.com, and what is it at here, and we're at 20. So that's kind of crazy to me, but here we are, and in fact it's today it's down compared to other days. Just recently, as you can see, last week. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, look, based off of, I'm kind of itching to show things or demo things always, but based off of what Laura had requested some weeks ago, we're just going to hold off. I mean, if we do take any positions, it'll be small scalps, but like we're going to hold off here because we're not really looking for anything. We don't see anything that's great. So we can go over order flow phenomena and start to understand that and practice here for sure. Okay, like this here, see the buying here, retest, no buying, selling coming in. Okay, now might come back, but here's where we look for some selling again, right here at 48 3/4 or 48 1/2, and then sellers should be able to hit down into this liquidity here at 46 1/2. Okay, that's what I would be looking for. Okay, there's our exhaustion, there's our selling. Now buyers could come in and move it back up into this area, and any sellers are going to feel the pinch, the squeeze, right? But this is typical of looking for more selling now to hit the bid into the lower levels. Okay, we're going to do this read again and again, that's why we can kind of demo some positions around it. But anyway, the safe bet on even a small move like that would be bottom of the range. We're looking for it just to test the bottom of the range, and now we're going to look for some follow through on the sell side, and if it can hit into and break the bottom of this range here, okay, into this high liquidity down to 45. So today's a good day for practicing hitting the singles, I think, unless something really aligns nicely here, and we just don't see it right now. I don't see it on any of these swings or important levels here in the higher time frame. Okay, so a lot of sloshing around, but we can look for smaller moves, more likely to play out. See, now watch this. Now we get the squeeze here? Okay, see how now we got buyers back up to here, and all of these sellers in here, they're positioned sell side. That means that they're gonna have to buy to cover. That's how we can get a squeeze back up into maybe 52 now. Or the buyers here, that was a stop run of 39, but maybe the buyers that are buying up in here are going to get squeezed and feel the pain on the way down. Okay, so bottom of the range, probed, tested, not many sellers. Top of the range, we're finding buyers up here. Okay, starting to find buyers again now. Okay, so now that has the potential now to break it, right? This would be kind of a weak top and look for 52 to transact. Okay, that's when we can take a look for some of these scalps, like just take a quick scalp up into 52. Right? And that's all we're looking for, though, because we do see some buying pressure. We're just looking for them to hit up into the liquidity here. And there they go. Okay. Okay, so just hit a small single. That's it. Okay, 50 to 52. I don't know if Alan is in here today. Alan? Do I see you in here? No. Okay. Okay, what if we get a cluster of selling down here? Okay, it looks pretty good then to trade back down to the bottom of this range and maybe break it here. Look at the selling down here, though. There's not a lot, right? So that was different. That was the difference between what you saw up here in this range. We saw buyers up in here, right? That's why we're looking for that move up into 52. Okay, down here, I'm not seeing the sellers. So this is not a weak bottom down here. There's not a whole lot of selling down here. Okay, so it means that well, there's not too much interest. So buyers, basically, the market would test into these areas in here, probe, and likely not find sellers, and kind of probe back up and start to find buyers again, as it is right now, and then we look for another move back up into 52 here. Okay. Now look at the buying up here now, though. Okay. Not so great. So no, it's nothing special. All right, guys, just to kind of, I don't want this to sound like it's really complex and confusing. What we're talking about here is what we're always mentioning is a context between buyers and sellers. Okay, so in fact, let me take the volume dots off right now. Okay, and let me just simplify a lot of things in here. I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off for the moment. Okay, and boy, this is really great, guys. So if you have access to that, the stops and icebergs, or the MBO bundle, you can now get it on the TraderMap Pro and TraderMap Lite. Okay, you don't have to have it here. You can see I have it on here on the regular ES contract here, but the TraderMap Pro, it is not, because it works now individually. Okay, so anyway, let me let's clarify. Let's get rid of all of the orders here as well. We'll take that off, and let's just go in here. None. Okay, and we'll clear all our drawings in here. And what we're talking about in some of these little ranges in here, let's get rid of break even as well. Okay, so this ought to simplify things. Okay, so understanding the context of the liquidity here on the bid, okay, and on the offer up in here. Okay, and this is just price action here. Best bid and offer going back and forth. Okay, we have no other reference. We just know price is going back and forth in here. Okay, now it just traded into high liquidity down here. Okay, great. So earlier we had this context that we were looking for up in here, this little range right in here. Okay, our context was this: we didn't have aggressive sellers down here hitting the bid, but we did have buyers up in this little area, and we started to see them come in again. So we were looking for, because there's buyers up here in this little area up in here, we're looking for them to press into the high liquidity up here, because this is where the sellers are, the passive sellers. And that's what happened here. This is supply up here. Okay? Now there's aggressive demand by buyers that traded with those passive sellers up here. And that's what happened. Okay? And we're just looking for a short little move in there. Right? So now let's turn on the volume dots, and we can see that context now. You can see it clearly. Down here, we don't see many sellers. Okay, there's liquidity down here, no doubt. But we're not seeing selling interest to reach these passive buyers or the demand on the bid here. Okay, but we did have the demand here by the aggressors to reach the supply up here. So there was potential for that move to unfold. Okay, in this case it did. And then it rotated back down, it rotated back down again, and then we did finally get some sellers. See how the sellers came in here, the aggressive sellers? Now this is different in here. Okay, see the selling cluster in here, and this move down, and like buyers couldn't come back up into these areas here. Okay, so now we're looking for the sellers to at least test the bottom of the range here, because that's the price action. Okay, but the real demand is down here. This is where the sellers can make the exchange with buyers, okay, on the bid, and they did. Okay, and we get a little bit of a bounce. Now we just had it again here too. Okay, right, sellers hitting right into high liquidity here at 45. Okay, so these sellers met the buyers here. Okay, now let's see, do we get some buying coming in here? Okay, right here we can even look for it, and I would look for them to test up here to 47. Okay, where there's liquidity here, because we know that they passively transacted, or this demand in here transacted. Okay, and we don't see much selling after it. We see a little bit of demand starting to come in, so I'm looking for them to probe and test back up into the the top of the range in here. Okay, now we didn't get it. Okay, it kind of exhausted out in here. We see more liquidity actually starting to come in here. And then we found more aggressive demand supply here, more aggressive sellers, and they just moved price lower. Okay, all of this you can find on, let me show you here, bookmap.com, education, and then go down to this market mechanics course. Okay, and part 1 of this market mechanics course in here, you can go through and look at some of these areas in here. We go through it in detail, exactly the same thing. Here it is right here. Exactly the same thing. We've been covering, this was back in 2017 or 18. Here, 17 June. Yeah, you know, exactly 8 years ago. Well, just about. Anyway, we've got it in diagram form. Now this is evergreen content, so don't worry about that. That is 8 years old. It's just the market mechanics. It's how the markets work, and we have these diagrams in here that show you what happens when an order book is swept. All the liquidity taken at one price level, the next, and it hits into all of that liquidity. Okay, and we have a book sweep, and we have a gap here, a spread between the best offer and the best bid. Okay, understanding all of that applies directly to what we're looking at in here. Okay, so we're reviewing the market mechanics today because we didn't see anything earlier. Oh, you were watching some of it over the weekend, Stephen? Yeah. It's a good reminder. And the funny thing is that a head and shoulders pattern, a trend, a a double bottom, double top, or market profile, like see this little thin area in here. Okay, this is where price rejected. We're trading right down into it now. Okay, sellers hitting into it. Okay, so I'm looking for it to reject down here because it rejected before. Okay, so what we're looking for is buyers to come in now. Okay, look at this one here, 41 contracts there, just transacted though. Okay, now is that low enough to find aggressive buyers? Not yet. See how we're looking for them, waiting and watching. Okay, now we can start to look for a potential move to unfold. Okay, so I'm looking for buyers now to start to buy and trade back into the range back up here. Okay, but I don't see them yet, and I have a buy stop sitting here. Okay, so maybe there's enough supply in here that sellers will hit into these areas here and continue to just drive price lower. So it's going to move away from all of this trading up in here and start to get into these little areas down here, right? Which is down in these areas in here. Okay, so that's your volume profile or market profile. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now we're probably going to get it because we just traded with a bunch of buyers in here. So they are buying. So now we can look for that. And we can look for a move back to where in your profile, maybe back up to here, 45. There's a swing up here. This is where it kind of dropped from. This is where there was some volume up in here. Can it trade up into here, or can we look for a move way back up into 50 here? You know, back up into the most traded level up here. Okay, so we're looking for a rejection in here, and then we're looking for it in the order flow here. So what do we have in the order flow? All right, well, we got something now. Okay, we have this liquidity in here. getting filled. Okay, still some down here at 40 did not get filled. Okay, and now we're looking for the aggressive buyers to start to come in. Okay, and we had some. Okay, some. We're looking for more. And now we're seeing sellers come in. Okay, so it's still back and forth in here. Okay, but now we just have to wait and watch. Okay, so we do see a cluster up here. Can we auction back here and find more buyers? Well, starting some, but look at that, it's pretty paltry, and all it is a very small little range in here. It's not looking good. This is not not nearly enough. Okay, so where do we go? We find more buyers on the bid down here. Now, do the sellers want to tangle with these guys and make the transaction in here? Okay, it's very thinly traded in here. Okay, so it's starting to accept. Okay, yeah, it's starting to see the selling coming in. Okay, now, is that low enough? Do we find the buyers after this transaction here into this demand here? Let's look for it. Look for those aggressors again. There they are. Okay, now let's see, can they come back up to here? 43.5. Okay, some buying starting to come back in. All right, now do we get some momentum out of this? So we just traded into some of this liquidity here. Is there still more demand? Okay, let's take a look here. Up to, yeah, this 43.5 here. All right, so there's still some more demand there. Okay, now do we get some momentum out of this move here? Where would it go next? Probably up here around 47, but the liquidity is up here at 50. 49.5 and 50. Okay, so let's see if we can get back up into that area here. Okay, so buyers starting to join in the parade here. Now let's take a look here. So we hit a little single here, but let's see if we can get a little bit more out of it. Okay, back up here. All right, so auction back up to here. And are we still finding some buyers? Now, where's the supply? Well, there's some supply here, 46.5. Okay, but we're still finding aggressive buyers here. Okay, taking it on. Guys, this is kind of turned into a pretty nice, actually, not a bad example of one of our supply and demand setups. And I'll show you why these can be such powerful moves, or at least that setup. And it has everything. It's actually looking pretty good here. We've got three factors actually. It's a little different. It's a variation in here. Guys, I'll have this replay file for you later, and you can replay it. But let me show you what I'm talking about here, okay? And why this is a pretty good one. Let's see if we can get to this 50. I'm looking forward to trade into 50 up here. I think there's enough momentum here to hit that 50 and maybe a little bit through it here as well. So we'll see. As you can see, the swing up here, and that's where we got some profit taking. So you always look for your swings. We have some high liquidity in here, traded into, but not through. Okay, at 49. Okay, let's see it hit that 50 level. I think we can not only hit it, I think we can hit through it. $124 contracts up there. Now, we never know. All of a sudden, it might be a ton of selling coming in, aggressive selling. Here we go, another one. See the probe here. Now we're back up here. This is looking like a weak top. We should get to 50. Okay, we're getting out in front of it. Just looking for that one little tick there. Okay, we're out, but we're still looking for this to continue here. Guys, this is not a trading room, okay? This is just a demo of this idea. Now, let's go over, now that we're out, we can kind of go back and review this a little bit better here. And let me know if you have any questions. Stephen, Rob, Alois, Shark, Trading His Life. This is the setup in here, okay, back from the learning center, okay, in supply and demand in here. And I've been going over this one a lot lately. The trend line break and accumulation, it just is. There's a couple different reasons why I've been going over this a lot, is because we have some time to get into it. I mean, there's another great setup in here that we'll get really good at in here, this low volume pullback in here, but you've got to be pretty fast for this one. This one, it takes some time to work out, a reversal type of pattern in here. Let's go over it in here. Here's what I'm talking about. See all of this liquidity down here on the bid, okay, and it just all gets filled on the way down, okay. And then here's an important level. It's actually 2100, through it, this is the Nasdaq, down into high liquidity here, and we know that these passive buyers are getting filled. Now we're looking for a key level, which is here, break of the structure. Okay, there's also a break here of this structure horizontally, and we're looking for the buying to start to come in. That's when we're looking for them to lift it and lift it back up into some of the swings or high liquidity on the bid or offer here, and maybe higher. We also have some trapped sellers in here, why this is such a good or powerful setup in here. Let me show you. Okay, it's right here. We see the same thing right here. Okay, look at all of this liquidity here. These buyers getting filled in here. Okay, so we're just above 50 now. We thought we were probably going to get through 50. I think we're going to go higher. I think we're going to come back up into 52, 53. The swing up here looks pretty good. 53 and a half or so. Now, so we have, this is what we have, and this is what makes it such a good, and it's so visual in Bookmap in here. Look at all this liquidity getting filled, okay? All the way down. Okay, now we got in a little early there. Anyway, we kind of missed it actually, because we were already in and demoing something else. But after all of this getting filled in here, then the aggressors come in, and see how they swipe it away and lift the offer very, very quickly in here. Okay, here's our trend line, okay, or our structure break. You can also look at a smaller one in here. Okay, lines up even better. And you can also look at horizontal lines in here, okay? Like right here, or maybe this structure right here, or maybe this one here, right? Anyway, they're being broken, and they're being broken by the aggressors here, the green dots. So now they're accumulating and buying here, and they're moving price now, okay, after passively buying and accumulating on the way down. That's what that's how it turns into a really nice, powerful move. Okay, and this is a pretty good example on a smaller time frame. Okay, now we can still get more out of this. In fact, we got a little bit of a pullback here. Let's see if we get more. Let's see if we get a kind of a wedge pattern here, or a continuation pattern after it. Okay, because this can be such a powerful setup in here, and you really can understand the passive accumulation followed by aggressive accumulation, and sellers can only compete with this with massive sell size by the aggressors, because we don't have much on the offer getting filled. Now we just traded into some here at 50, right? That's why we got out in front of it. So now let's see if these aggressors come in again and try to reach up into here, right? Or even up into here, 60, 62, 55. Okay, so we just traded into only this supply here. So that's why you've got a lot behind you here that helps the trade. Okay, and this is where Bookmap can really help you, is understand that context. It's just a lot of buying in here on the bid. Okay, and we're just waiting and watching for the aggressors to come in. And now our little scalp in here was very different. I think we're just looking for a move up into this 43 and a half. At that point, we were too zoomed in, right? Now we zoomed out, and it's like, well, we're already in it, so we might as well let this play out and ride. And that's when we moved our stop. Well, we moved it down to begin with, and we thought, well, no, let's just move it right back up and look for it to transact. Okay, does that make sense? Do you guys get it? I hope it makes sense. If you don't, I mean, it's a great time to ask questions now. It's a great setup. The order flow is behind you, you've got wind at your back. When you see these aggressors come in, you can start to target these high areas of high liquidity in here. Yeah, it works really well in gold as well, E-cycle. We'll take a look at gold here. You're trading with Bookmap Eclipse, okay, for about a month. You can't subscribe to the ES, really? Well, what's your well, you can come to the onboarding meeting or webinar on Wednesday, but oh, boss man, it happens in all time frames. This setup in here, but you do. I mean, when it's thinner markets, the aggressors can, or either party can manipulate price a lot easier. Okay, but it definitely happens in the global. It happens on all time frames. Okay, so Caesar making good sense. Okay, good. So look at this, guys. I mean, here we go, and here come the buyers. Now, again, we don't know, but I'm still thinking I'm not seeing a whole bunch of absorption here, so I'm still looking for aggressive buyers to take it higher. Okay, we retested down here. Now we're testing back up in here, and I'm looking for buyers to hit into 52, and maybe they can get on up into 55. Let's look at a range, a measured move in here. And it's probably about 55. Take a look at that and measure it. Perfect. Okay, so now can the aggressive buyers, and here we can even take a shot at it here, right? And we look for this move to unfold. Okay, because we don't see yet the passive absorption yet, right? So you can see how understanding this passive absorption, and a lot of it, not only leads to this move here, it can lead to more. And now it's a lot more risky up here to do this. Okay, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But the main reason is we just don't know if the aggressors now have a little more leverage. They will be able to move price back down for a short period. Okay, but in general, we're still looking for all of this behind us here to fuel this move to the upside. Okay, and we're just looking for these buyers to continue to it's a continuation pattern on up into a measured move here in 55. All right, so let's we'll see here. And we might have to rotate again back down here, find more buyers on the bid. You can see we talked about rotational markets last week a lot. Let's see, we'll jump over to gold and we'll take a look at that. Let's just see if we can. You see some of the aggressors coming in here, but now watch this though. Like, this is where it gets really funny, because like it's just now it's really, you see some passive orders in here getting filled, but like not so much, right? So the bigger move is still kind of looking for the move to the upside, the continuation move. You can see this kind of slopping around in here, in these areas in here, because the aggressors take control, the aggressors take it back. Aggressive sellers, aggressive buyers, back and forth in here, right? But when we have this at our back, it's much more powerful. Okay, so now let's see if these sellers can get upside down. So I'm looking for buyers up here at 51 3/4, and then we're going to get, if we should get a nice squeeze. Okay, and that should hit our target. And then we'll jump over to gold here. What about large resting at 62? Yeah, even better. We're just in this time frame here. Full-time trader, we don't we're looking for kind of things that make more sense for the time of this webinar. Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, well, what about 62? Well, yeah, sure. I mean, what happens a lot in some of these moves in here, when you get a lot of this liquidity getting filled in here, is you'll see even more chasing on the bid in some of these levels up in here. Okay, right now I don't see much, right? So you can see it's just kind of, we're kind of going back and forth in here, and we need to get through also the point of control here too. There's a, this is value here, right? So now we need to see the aggressive buyers really step it up here, okay, to move price away from this little area in here. It's kind of hugging it right now. So a move back to here made pretty good sense. And that's something we mentioned when this was unfolding. But yeah, it could come up into here too, right? It's just we don't know. How do I put this? Just on this time frame in here, yeah, maybe some other things unfold along the way in here that make it up to 62. Okay, right now though, I don't see it. Okay, so what if this was what if the high volume node was up here though? Then yeah, I would say we're likely coming up to 62, right? More likely. What if this was kind of like one of these, I don't know, more like a volume profile like this in here, right? I would look for then, and the high volume node is up here. Yeah, I would look for the buyers to reach 62. That would be more likely. Okay. Now you can see the back and forth process in here right now. Buyers coming up in here. Okay, now we see some high liquidity on the offer here. We just kind of missed that. Yeah, well, no, more than a point or two, I would say. But I mean, this was, this was a nice. Where did we get in? Yeah, here. Well, we should have gotten in here though, to be honest. 41.5. We got in around 40. We got in around 42, but up to 49. So there's 7 points there. Okay, so you can see like rotating back down again. So we're likely to get stopped out on this. We'll see, like if the aggressors can or the passive buyers in here can absorb this or not. But you see what I mean? Like now the slop, we'll probably just come back down to here, hit our stop, and then probe here, and then auction doesn't work out, and then it comes back up here, and then we get the breakout. Right? This happens all the time. I mean, it auctioned up here, right? So we're actually looking for it to auction back up here again. Okay, so we're stopped out there. Okay, now we'll see. Okay, what if buyers can come back in now, back up into here. Okay, so in this case here, we couldn't get through this high volume node. There was not enough buyers up in here. And now the sellers are coming in. I'm still looking for a retest back into here. Heck, in fact, I'll just go back in. I'm looking for it, and I'm looking for at least a test back to here, right? To right where it kind of dropped from here. Right? I'm looking for a probe here, and now I'm looking for buyers to come back in and take it back up. Okay, now this is based off of not so much the aggressors in here in the order flow. This is based off of, so I should probably even take that off. Okay, the idea is the swing. We have actually two swings here, even three right here. Okay, and rejection, and then to come back into high volume. Okay, probe down to below here, and then looking for buyers to take it back up into here. Okay, now we can turn the volume dots back on and let's take a look. And so far, yeah, it's just kind of wishy-washy. This is some pretty good selling, but they did trade into high liquidity. Okay, buyers, let's see now. Let's see if you got it. See if you can, right here in the top edge at this kind of 47.5. Can you trade it back up into value? And kind of battling here back and forth, buyers and sellers. Just not finding enough buyers yet, that's for sure. Look at the order book. Order book kind of going lighting up on both sides here. Trying to figure it out. Okay, sellers are able to drop it lower here. We're at the end of the session, or the European session, so this gets a little wonky in here as well. So in fact, I'm going to move it down just a little bit and kind of hide behind some of that high liquidity here. No, sellers are moving it, so they're able to drop and make lower lows here. All right, so we're out. So okay, well, was something kind of gleaned from this in here. Okay, so we saw the sellers move it out, and I'm looking for the buyers to move it back in. Okay, and this is where we was kind of surprised and said, okay, sellers, no, they're coming back in. This is where it would be pretty safe to take it off and take the loss. Okay, because the idea here is this in here. We're looking for it to reject and come back in here, but this is where we saw the sellers come back in again. All right, so once they can start to move it away again in here, you can kind of get this, you get this kind of flag or whatever it is, continuation in here. Sellers, buyers, and then sellers again, or sellers and then kind of go sideways here, and then sellers again. Okay, a lot of liquidity getting filled again on the bid. Okay, so I'm going to look for it again. But right now, sellers they're continuing to move it here, and they're moving it away from all of this value here. All right, let me see if there's any other questions in here. All right, excellent. So it's been helpful, Snowman. Good, good. Yeah, I mean, I think the takeaway from this in here, this was a nice move. And because of what we talked about, all this high liquidity getting filled in here, and a move back into the high volume node. And maybe it was a little too lofty of an idea in here that I still looked like it to me, even in here, still looked like it to me that we had more buyers up in here, and we did not have a whole lot of liquidity getting filled on the offer on the way up. So I'm still thinking buyers have this. So this was kind of move up, sideways action, followed by another move up. Okay. Instead, this is where the sellers came in here and broke it. And then I thought, well, okay, we'll get another probe down here, and then we'll get a move back up. And we didn't. We just we see the sellers come in, and then we kind of go sideways in here. And this is where it's like, yeah, okay, sellers are going to take it right in here. All right. So anyway, glean from that. When we start to see the structure break on some sell size, just get out of the trade. It would be this was a little too lofty of an idea in here, thinking that, well, it's just a probe and then another move back in. And why? How did I make that mistake? Okay, well, it's the sell size volume. Okay, so look at the sell dots in here. And now I'm going to have to raise the bars down here, but it's the selling in here, and it's moving it away from here. Okay, but again, I thought, okay, we've got swings down here, rejection down here, and a move back up to here. But it's just more selling, moving it away, not enough buyers, and then selling, moving it away again. So there we go. All right. So how do we protect ourselves on that? Just when you see the selling come back in, just get out. Wow, look at this. Okay. Pretty heavy selling back into this level below the swing here. Again, though, buyers here, here, and here, passive. Okay, there's still more though down below. So I'm going to wait and watch for a bit lower in here. All right. Let's see, any other questions in here? Sorry, guys, we didn't get a chance to look at gold. Anyway, went through a lot on auction process, a lot on this passive and aggressive accumulation. And yeah, this was nice in here. Back into value. Didn't get through value though, back up into 62. Well, 62 is a little too lofty. I wouldn't look for that. I was looking for more like 55, a full-time trader, as you know. And we didn't get it. Anyway, guys, all right, let's wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. We'll go through more. Ask any questions here. The setup here that I was going over is this one here on the Learning Center. Okay, so bookmap.com, education, and supply and demand in here. And it's this one here, trend line, break, and accumulation. Here, I'll put the link into the chat for you. Okay, and you can go through it in detail. There you guys go. over in Discord and over here. There you go, in YouTube. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, yep. Thanks for coming. And we will catch up with you tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.